and for those that fill the attendance. All right. So when you see the attendance form coming from time to time, do make sure you fill the attendance form. So let's dive right into the main meat of our session today. Now, if you know somebody who's been trying to land a job for a while now, you know somebody who needs sponsorship, you know somebody who has sent out multiple applications but really cannot get any job, you need to get them into this session today. All right, get them into the session, share the link with them, and get them on board. Okay. More people are joining. More people are joining. Let's get everyone into the room. Now, how do you identify employers that would give you sponsorship? How do you identify employers with the license to offer you a COS and you go ahead to apply for a skilled worker visa? That's the essence of our session today. Now, why are we here? Apart from that, so many of you are on your post-study visa or dependent visa and you're watching the months count down and you really don't know what to do. You need to get that job. For some of you, you are trying to switch from your current role. You work in the warehouse, you work in retail, you work in customer care, you work in healthcare as a support worker, as a care worker, but you want to move and land a job in a more progressive career path, in a career path where you'd have the opportunity to work from home and your promotion does not depend on the extent of the physical, you know, abilities you have to put into the work. Some of you are qualified with the right skills, or you think you are qualified, but when you put out applications, you keep on getting rejections, and you really don't know what the problem is. There are so many of you like that on the call today. And for those of you that are mentally exhausted, emotionally drained, you don't know what to do, you are confused, this is the best place for you to be. Now, the scariest part in all of the things I've shared with you so far is not knowing if what you are doing is working. I was having a conversation with somebody over the week and she was telling me that, or she told me that she had just a month left on her visa and she would have to leave the UK if she can't get a visa sponsor job. Mistake number one, you have just a month left, which means you started out late. Mistake number two, she's done so many things. And when I assessed all the things she had done in the past, she made a lot of mistakes. Okay. And that's the worst place you want to be. You don't want to have tried the things you feel would work, they don't work out, and you get to realize that when it's already too late. Okay, so what I'll be showing you today, number one, is how to get into career path that would land you sponsorship within the next 6 to 8 months. So in 2026, if you are somebody looking to land a high paying job, somebody looking to land sponsorship, how do you get that in 2026? I'll be showing you how to do that. I'll show you how to learn the skills and more importantly, how to gain work experience. A lot of people think if they are the best at doing something, then they will get a job. But that's a fallacy. Employers don't just care about your skills, they care more than the skills you bring to the table. Have you done this job before? Do you have experience that you've done this job? If you don't have that, you will fall short when trying to land a job. I'd also show you how to identify the employers that would sponsor you. So you're not just shooting out applications and hoping that something sticks. You know the employers to target, you go after them, you get that job, and you get the sponsorship. And finally, I'll show you how to start today. Okay, day one, today, ready, set, go. So for those of you joining us for the first time, we are Tenalytics. We are the leading educational technology company focused on helping you land high paying jobs, especially within the tech ecosystem. We operate out of Alberta in Canada and also London in the UK through our sister company, Amdari. And I'll be sharing a little bit about Amdari as we move on today. Over the last 5 years, we've helped over 4,000 people with no prior tech background, and we've helped them transition to land jobs within the tech ecosystem. We've helped nurses become healthcare analysts. We've helped healthcare assistants become healthcare data reporting analysts. Bankers become project managers, accountants become financial analysts, and so on and so forth. We have over 182 full-time employees and over 300 industry experts who will be guiding you through your journey as you move from somebody with no experience and no background into the tech ecosystem. And we focus on areas around data analytics, health tech, business analysis, data engineering, agile project management, product design, and so on and so forth. And I'll be speaking about these specific career paths during our session today. And for me, my name is Adeza Suleiman, and I'll do a little bit of introduction as I walk you through my own profile. Okay. Tenalytics as an organization is accredited by the CPD in the UK and also the American Council of Training and Development in the US. And like I mentioned earlier, I'll be sharing my materials and my slides with you. So make sure you fill the attendance form in the chat so you don't miss out on anything. You get my slides, you get the recording. So you can go here, click on the link, and it shows you, it takes you to where you have, the accreditation by the CPD. You'd see Tenalytics right there. And also the accreditation by the American Council of Training and Development as well. Okay. And for me, myself, I'll be the pilot of today's session. My name is Adeza Suleiman. I'm a technology expert with over a decade experience cutting across management consulting, data analytics, data engineering, and so on and so forth. Just like so many of you here today, my first degree was in industrial chemistry. And what this means is I have no background, no experience within the tech ecosystem before I moved. My first degree, industrial chemistry, straight out of the university. My first job out of the university was as a management consultant, but I knew I wanted more. I wanted to get a job where I'd see the future and the trend of where that career path would get me. So I wanted a job where I could work from home at the convenience of my home and I still get to do my job, and a job that is high paying. And I could also see the impacts of the recommendations that I gave. So I looked at data analytics at that time and I made the transition from somebody with an industrial chemistry degree, a management consulting background, and I moved into data analytics. I'm the founder of Tenalytics and the co-founder of Amdari. And through these platforms, we've helped over 4,000 people with no prior background, no prior experience within the tech ecosystem. And we've helped them land their very first jobs. I've currently work as a data analytics, data engineering contractor in Canada. I've worked as a data science consultant in the UK and in the US. I've lived and I've worked in the UK. I've worked with one of the largest privately owned energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa as a management information systems analyst, as a data analyst. I've worked as a data analytics consultant with FITC, owned by the Bankers Committee and the Central Bank of Nigeria. And my experience spans across 5 different sectors, from financial services to energy, educational technology, sports, and automobile. So I'll be sharing a lot of my experience with you today. Some of the mistakes that I made 13 years ago, and I see people making the same mistakes today. And I'll show you exactly what you need to do to ensure that you don't make similar mistakes and you're able to land the job as soon and as fast as possible. One of the major things you'd find today across the globe, not just in the UK, is hiring you and sponsoring you is more expensive than ever before. Especially for those of you in the UK. I saw some of you in Glasgow, some of you in London, in Doncaster, and so on and so forth. Today, it's more expensive than it was last year to hire you and to also sponsor you. So employers are more circumspect before they go ahead to give you an offer. They're a little bit more careful. So sponsorship is no longer cheap. So employers are also wary. Last year, 2 years ago, it would take roughly about £3,000. That's £1,000 per annum to sponsor an employee for a year. So before, it would take 3,000 if you're on a 3-year visa sponsorship. But today, it will take you about £4,000 for that company to sponsor you for 3 years. So the cost has gone up by £1,000. It's more expensive. And if you're on a 5-year route to ILR, you have a 5-year visa sponsorship. It used to be £1,000 per annum per employee. So 5 years is £5,000. But today, it's gone up 32% to £1,320 per annum instead of £1,000. So for 5 years, it would cost the company $6,600 just to sponsor you. This is not taking into consideration your remuneration and your benefits, your bonuses, and so on. This is just to pay to the home office to ensure that they sponsor you. So it's more expensive. And because of that, employers are wary. When employers and companies want to hire you, today they are not just giving you a job, they are making an investment in you. So they want to be sure that you're hiring the right person. And this means you need to look at things from the perspective of the employer. What does the employer want from me? That's the question you need to ask yourself. What would an employer want from me? What do I need to focus on? So I give them exactly what they want. All right. So what employers want, since they know they have to pay you more, they'll be more selective before they hire. They would also prefer stronger candidates with experience. So I'm not going to hire you and I have to train you. No, you must hit the ground running on day one. So apart from the fact that they are more selective, they want candidates that have done the job before. So if you don't have experience, just count yourself out of the competition. You are likely not going to get that job. And that's why you see a lot of trend, a lot of people going back to their home countries simply because they cannot secure a job and secure a job that comes with sponsorship. Because employers don't care about what you can do. They only care about what you have done and what you can do for them. So experience is absolutely important, critical to you landing a job. Okay, so if you don't have experience today, I'll show you how to gain work experience. You don't need to get a job to gain experience, but you need experience to get that job. So I'll show you how to gain the experience so that you are one of the preferred candidates to the employer before when you're looking to get hired and also get sponsored. Employers would also avoid candidates that can only show that they have certificates. So a lot of people today feel that because I have a certification in this, I have a CBAP, I have a PMP, so on and so on, I should get that job. It's very easy to prepare for a CBAP exam. I can prepare for that exam in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and pass. And employers know this. They know that certifications is not a measure of how well you can do the job. So you can have all the certification in the world. I've seen tons and tons of people, spoken to thousands of people over the years, and there are so many of them with certifications, but they still cannot get a job. So if employers are more selective, they want you to show that you have experience. They don't care about your credentials. They care about your competence. What do you do? So I'm going to showcase some people that were able to land jobs over the last 12 months, and I'll walk you through exactly what they did. And that'll be your strategy going forward. Okay. And step by step, like I said, I'm going to show you 6 steps to take. You design a strategy today, the 11th of April, 2026, and 6 to 8 months down the line, if you follow all the things I'll show you today to the T, you will find yourself in a situation where you've gotten a job, the job comes with sponsorship, and you compete for the best type of jobs wherever you find yourself, whether in the UK, in the US, across Europe, it doesn't matter. The strategy works everywhere. So we're going to look at Olufumilayo. Olufumilayo joined our data engineering program. Today, Olufumilayo works as an ERP, business intelligence and reporting analyst with the NHS. Now, Olufumilayo had no experience, no background, but what did she do? Number one, she got into a career path. that would give her the opportunity to land visa sponsorship. So she got a job with the NHS, first of all. And secondly, she got a job within the data ecosystem as an ERP, business intelligence and reporting analyst. And just like any employer in the UK, any employer in the US, in Canada, in Europe, anywhere in the world, they would want a reputable organization that can vouch for you. Where has Olufunmilayo used the skills in data engineering before? Who can vouch for Olufunmilayo that she's the best candidate for this job and she can do the job? She got this job in February 2025, and the NHS reached out to me to provide a reference for Olufunmilayo. Dear Deza Suleiman, the above named candidate has been offered the post of ERP Business Intelligence Reporting Analyst and has given us the permission to approach you for a reference. Olufunmilayo joined data engineering. Today, she's gotten a job, a high-paying job, and that job also came with visa sponsorship. And she's not in this bucket alone. You have Zulay. Zulay also works with the NHS, and there's a reason why I'm highlighting the NHS. I'm going to, double down on that and tell you the reason in the next few slides. Zulay got a job. She joined our business analysis program. Today, she works as a project support officer, also with the NHS, on visa sponsorship. Now, how does a business analyst become a project support officer? That's a big question, because everybody would assume that because I'm a business analyst, I will or I can only get a job as a business analyst. But that's very wrong. So I'll show you how a business analyst was able to get a job as a project support officer with the NHS. That's Zulay's story. You have Mary. Mary joined our data analytics program, and in May 2025, last year, she landed a job as a junior IT service desk analyst. No experience, no background. She joined data analytics and she was able to transition into an IT service desk analyst role, also with the NHS. You have Ahmed. He joined our health tech analyst program. And in June 2025, last year, Ahmed was able to land a job as a health informatics support worker. Health informatics. Not bedside care, not as a healthcare assistant, but health informatics. These are professionals that take hospital data, medical records, medical instruments records. They analyze the data and give recommendations to the hospital to make better decisions for better patient care, optimizing the hospital resources, and so on and so forth. Ahmed had no experience in healthcare. He had no experience in health informatics, but he was able to land this job. How did he get the job? I'm going to show you how. You also have Prince, and you have these amazing candidates. This gentleman got the job in January this year, 2026. And guess what? He started his program in November 2025. And just about 3 months after, he was able to land a job with the NHS, the Northumbria Healthcare Foundation Trust, as an information analyst. He's still undergoing the program at the moment as I speak to you. He has not completed his program with us, but he's landed his job already. At Tenalytics, we have over 237 alumni working with the NHS, all on visa sponsorship, different roles: business architect, information analyst, health informatics support worker, project officer, and so on and so forth. Over 237 alumni. Why have we been so successful in helping people land jobs in this organization and also helping them land visa sponsorship? Number one factor, which is what I'll share with you today, is getting into a high demand career path. Landing a high paying visa sponsor job comes from getting into the right career path. That's number one. So if you listen to the career path that I shared, Zule did business analysis. Olufumilayo did data engineering. Ahmed did health tech health tech analytics. And you have professionals, all these people getting into career path that position them for jobs that are not just, that don't just come with sponsorship, but are also high paying jobs. So that's number one I want to share with you today. And I want you to write all the steps down. So step number one, in landing that job that comes with sponsorship, in landing a job that is high paying, in a career path where you have progression over the next 10 years, you would always be in demand. Get into a high demand career path and get into a career path that is eligible for sponsorship. You make getting a job 10 times easier when you are in a career path that employers are actively searching for. So that's the first thing you have to do. You can't select any career path and assume that you would get a job or you'd land a job. And the lady I said I spoke with, this week, and she was telling me she has just 1 month left on her visa. One of the biggest mistakes she made was the career path she chose. It's not a career path that is in high demand. She was a digital marketer. And while digital marketing is a good career, but it's not a career that employers are actively searching for. All right. So that's mistake number one. You want to get into a career path that is in high demand and eligible for sponsorship. So what we do at Tenalytics is simple. To identify these career paths, we do a job board analysis where we scrape jobs from major job boards, analyze the jobs to see the jobs that have high frequency of demand. So which jobs are employers hiring for today? But we don't just stop there. We also look at the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report to see the career path that would grow in demand over the next 5 to 10 years, and the career path that will decline in demand over the next 5 to 10 years. And then we look at the eligible occupations for the skilled worker visa. Because remember, your career path might be high in demand, but if it's not eligible for sponsorship, then you're just wasting your time. Okay, so we do carry out these three analyses, and we came up with career path, specifically non-coding career path that anybody with no experience, just like me about 13 years ago, industrial chemistry graduate, management consultant, I became a data analyst. Fast forward 13 years down the line, I've worked as a data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, management information systems analyst, career path within the same ecosystem, just different job titles. So when you look for non-coding career path that anybody can transition into, you have the business analyst, the data analyst, the product designer, the agile project manager, the HR analyst, the financial analyst, and health tech. Health tech broken into 3 career paths: healthcare data analyst, healthcare business analyst, and healthcare project manager. Okay, I think somebody's unmuted. I'm just going to mute everyone so that we don't have any distractions. Okay. So these are the career paths you want to consider. And if you notice, I've kept some codes right beside each career path. And these are the codes that would help you check if these career paths are eligible for sponsorship. And I'll show you how. So I want to get a job, for example, as a product designer or as a business analyst. All I need to do is I go to the eligible occupations, the gov.uk website. I click on this link. It takes me to the website. And don't forget, if you want to get access to all the materials that I'll be sharing with you today, make sure you fill the attendance form. So my colleague would post the attendance. My colleague Damilola Bamidele would post the attendance. You'd see that in the chat. Okay. My colleague Daniela as well would post. So ensure you fill so that you don't miss any material I'll be sharing today. So if you go to the gov.uk website, all you have to do I want to land a job as a business analyst. So I want to check, is it eligible for sponsorship? Yes or no? So I look for the code 2133. So this is the code. This is the skilled worker visa eligible occupations and codes. So you'd see the occupation code, the job type, related job titles, and is it eligible for skilled worker as a higher skilled, medium skilled, or is it ineligible for sponsorship? So you can check them here. Okay. So if I scroll all the way to 2133, for example, I scroll all the way 2131, for example, you see the IT project managers. These are your agile project managers that focus within the IT space. They focus on building technology projects, completing technology projects, and so on. Okay, so 2131, you'd see that there. 2133, you'd see the IT business analyst. And if you look at related job titles, you'd see the data architects, the data engineers, the IT business analyst, the IT solutions architect, and so on and so forth. So you can check clearly the career path that are eligible. And what we've done is carrying out these three analyses and identifying the career path where at this point in your career, you don't want to start coding or learning how to code. That's too complex for you. You want a career path that is high in demand, eligible for sponsorship, high paying, and so on. And these are the career path you want to consider. So you can take a screenshot of this, and I want you to tell me which of these career paths are you interested in. Just type into the chat. You can be interested in more than one, so you can type more than one. It's totally fine. But I'd like to know which of these career paths is in as a data analyst, business analyst. Rufus says data analyst. Let's keep it coming. Fumilayo says project management. So Fumilayo, I'm going to show you, or other people anyways, I mentioned that earlier. The lady who did business analysis, how did she get a job as a project officer? I'll show you how that is possible and how she was able to do it. Let's see more. Charity says healthcare data analyst. That's a fantastic career path, especially for somebody who wants to get a job with the NHS as well in the UK. Data engineering, data analyst. Michelle says data engineering and cybersecurity. Moyolua says healthcare data analyst. Fantastic. Brilliant. So that's step number one for us today. Okay. Step number one is identify a high paying career path that is eligible for sponsorship. Career path employers are recruiting for today. You make your work a lot easier, and you are 10 times, you put yourself in a position where you are 10 times more likely to get that job because employers are actively looking for you. Now, when you do that, what next? Employers don't hire you because of what you put on your CV or what you have on your LinkedIn. Employers hire you if you can show them two things. Okay. And number one is they know, you show them that you know how to do the job. And how do you show them you know how to do the job? By having the right skills. And there's a reason why I used having the right skills. And this is from experience, years of experience of coaching and mentoring people. I've had people come to me and say, hey, I'm a business analyst, or I've completed a business analysis program, but they have no clue how to use SQL. They have no clue how to use Power BI, but you're a business analyst. You're not going to get a job, not in 2026. So having the skill is not enough. You need the right skills. And employers, you want to show employers that you have the right skills and you have experience doing the job. And not just by telling them that you have experience, but by showing them that you have experience. There must be evidence that you've done this job before. And I'll show you how to build that evidence. Okay. So, and that takes us to number two. So now that we know what employers want, they want to know that we have the right skills, and they want to know that we have done the job before. So we have experience. We know the career path we want to move into. You've all listed out the ones you are interested in. Some of you listed more than one, you listed two. So now that you know what employers want and they want you for the right skills, what do? You start learning those skills. But where I have seen people make mistake is they learn these skills the wrong way. They learn the skills the wrong way. So what's the best way to learn the skills? I'll show you. But before I dive into that, I want to ask a question. Okay. So let's assume you are training for a football match. Okay. And you have two people training for one football match. Let's say person A and person B. So person A watches a lot of matches. They watch Barcelona, Manchester, Arsenal. They watch a lot of match on the TV. They memorize all the tactics. They you know, they try to see what other people are doing, and they do that by watching. So person A does a lot of watching of football matches. The second person actually goes for training. They play football. They get tackled. They get injured. They make mistakes. The coach would shout at them and tell them what to do. And over time, they get a little bit better at playing football. Okay. So person B doesn't just watch, but they do what? They play. My question is, if you are the coach and you want to pick person A or B for that football match, person A has watched over 100 matches. They've watched over 100 games. But person B has played about 50 matches. Who would you choose to be on your team? The person who has watched a lot of matches or the person who has played a lot of matches? Just type A or B into the chat. Oppo says B. Let's get more. Charity says B. Binta says B. Okay. Tanvir, Moyolua, iPhone, Abiola says BBB. Fumilayo says B. Korede says B. Hakim says B. Kenneth, absolutely fantastic. I say B too. I'll choose B. And the reason why we choose B is simply because we know that B has played football matches. So when I bring B to the field, B would play that match and would play the match a lot better than A, who has only watched and has really not gotten involved. And I want you to know that employers know this clearly. And employers don't hire people because they know the game. They hire you because you have played the game. So when you learn the skills required, you know that I want to become a business analyst, a data analyst, and what you're doing is watching YouTube videos, watching videos and practicing. You are making a big mistake. You have to learn the right way. And that takes us to number 2 strategy today. Learning the skills required, but not just learning it anyhow. And I've made that mistake too. Early in my career, I had 1,000,001 courses on Udemy, on Coursera, all over the place. I was on YouTube and everywhere, but I was not making a headway because I wasn't learning the right way. So how do you learn the right way? You learn the right way by doing two things. Number one is to learn in a project-based environment. And what this means is you learn by doing the job. Just like that person who wants to play a football match, you learn by playing the match. You learn by doing the job. If you want to become a business analyst, you learn business analysis by doing what the business analyst does. You become a data analyst by doing what the data analyst does. And I'll show you how this plays out practically. Then secondly, you must showcase your work, which means you must have evidence that you've done that job before. So when you are learning by doing the job, you must have evidence that you've done that job. And the way you build your evidence is through a portfolio. You must have a portfolio that showcases that you've done this job before. This is evidence. This is the quality of the work I've done. These are the type of projects that I've worked on, and so on and so forth. If you don't have this in today's world of work, you'd struggle. Because remember, employers are not just hiring candidates anymore because you are good, you have the right skills, you look like somebody, you sound good. No, employers are hiring you because you know how to do the job on day one, and you have evidence that you've done that job. Extremely important. Okay, so I'm going to show you practically how this plays out and how Tenalytics also helps you to do what? To build the skills, learn in a project-based environment, and have evidence that you've done the job. So let's assume somebody like Victoria. Victoria wants to get a job with the NHS as a healthcare data analyst. Victoria cannot learn by watching videos and trying to figure things out by herself. Victoria must do what? She must learn by working as a healthcare data analyst, which means she must work with hospital data, medical records. She must do that job, know the type of metrics to focus on, the type of KPIs. What would a hospital need a data analyst to do? She must do that job. So when she gets into the interviews, she can show and speak the same language as the interviewers. She can tell them what she's done, the type of project she's worked on, and that convinces them that she's the right person for the job. So how does this play out practically? I'm going to walk you through that very quickly. So let's assume for anybody who's joined, you've decided that, okay, I want to become a data analyst and I want to get into Tenalytics. So you've decided, number one, the career path, high demand career path. Number two, you want to learn the right way. Learn in a project-based environment. So what's a project-based environment? So let's use Victoria's story. Victoria wants to become a healthcare data analyst. So Victoria registered for the health tech analyst program. And I'm going to share how Victoria learned, or how somebody like Victoria would learn. Okay. So I'm going to maximize this so you can see my screen clearly. Now, one of the first things from when Victoria starts to learn, Victoria is learning Excel, for example. Victoria must learn by doing what? Working as a healthcare data analyst. So the projects you work on are all based on healthcare related projects. So the first project when learning Excel is Medcare UK Hospital Group. And this is a hospital that needs somebody. There's a problem the hospital is facing. And what's the problem? Let's look for the problem the hospital is currently facing. So this hospital have strong patient volumes, but the leadership of the hospital does not have clear visibility into things like the length of stay of patients. They don't know the revenue contribution by the medical doctors, the physicians. They don't know the total revenue billed versus the revenue actually recognized. So leadership they have no idea on any of these areas. So they want somebody to come in, create a central database as a single source of truth, and help them analyze the data, create a dashboard to show them what they need to see. And that's what this project focuses on. So you're going to work on this project together with your facilitator in a live class, not you watching a video somewhere. You work on this together with your facilitator in a live class. You solve the problems together and you build a solution. And this is what the live class looks like. I'm just going to play that so you have an idea. Okay. So the live class looks like this. You jump into a class. This is the same project. You have a facilitator, a professional who has done that job before, and that's the person walking you through the solution. You work together to solve this problem. You can stop and say, hey, I tried something. I didn't get the same results. Can you show me what to do? You share your screen and you get insights. All right. And slowly together, you solve that problem using Excel. That's how you learn. So when you get into an interview, you can speak about the length of stay of patients and how you used your analysis to show that there were specific departments. The oncology department in Birmingham seem to have the longest length of stay. And the reason is because of XYZ. And my analysis was able to show the hospital the recommendations and the changes they needed to make. That's how you speak in an interview. You tell the stories of the things you've done, not hypotheticals or not telling them what you've read somewhere, but what you've actually done. Now, when you've completed this, and I'll show you what a Power BI class looks like, for example. So this is a Power BI class. They are learning Power BI, but not learning Power BI by watching videos, but learning Power BI by doing what? Working on hospital analysis, St. Augustine General Hospital. And what does this particular project entail? This hospital have their data, they recently migrated their data to a cloud data warehouse using AWS, Amazon Web Services. So your role is to do what? Connect your to that cloud database and use the data to generate insights. So you're going to be doing what? You'll be connecting your Power BI to Amazon S3 buckets. And these are things that you'll be doing from week 3, week 4. So if you have no experience, you've never done this before in your life, you have no clue what this is, by week 3, week 4, these are the type of things you'll be doing. So you connect your Power BI, and at the end of the day, you're going to build a data model. But when you do all of these things, what happens? You must have evidence. When you learn in a project-based environment, you help this hospital, St. Augustine, to create a data model because they recently migrated to a cloud database. You connect your Power BI to that database, and you're able to help them build a data model. What do? You must have evidence that you've done this job. So you build a portfolio. Okay. And this is what a portfolio looks like. I'll show you very quickly. A sample portfolio. This is a portfolio for Victoria. And if you look at some of the projects that Victoria has completed, Deep Care Hospital ER analysis. This was an analysis done by Victoria that helped the ER reduce the patient's wait time. And she did this using Tableau. So anybody can come here because the link to this portfolio would be on your CV and on your LinkedIn profile. So a recruiter, a hiring manager can click on the link. They can see what you've done. Okay. They can see the dashboard you've built and they can interact with it. So any recruiter or any company looking to hire a candidate that knows how to use Tableau, they would have no doubts that you can do the job. Why would they have no doubts? Because you have evidence that you've done this job before. This is how you build experience, by learning in a project-based environment. Very important. I can interact with this and anybody can interact. When you receive the slides later, the link is on my slide. You can click on this portfolio. I can click on this to deselect everything. Everything disappears. I want to see data for only Q1. I click on Q1 and data for only Q1 appears. This is how you show the world how good you are before anybody even decides to have a conversation with you. Okay. So remember, Victoria Learning, and of course, that's not the only project that would be in your portfolio. You'll have more projects. Okay. Redux Airline, projects in aviation using Excel, logistic projects using Tableau. So multiple projects. So every single thing you do in class, from when learning Excel to learning Tableau to learning Power BI, depending on the program you've registered for, you build your projects and you upload them into your portfolio as evidence. So when anybody asks, what's the best way to learn? Don't forget, you must learn by doing two things. Number one, learn in a project-based environment, which is learning by doing the real work, and showcase what you can do by building a portfolio. So that's number 2 strategy. When you have this, nobody will doubt how good you are. Then what happens next? Employers want to know that you have experience, right? And using Victoria as an example, Victoria, who wants to become a healthcare data analyst with the NHS, she wants to be able to go into an interview and talk about how she connected data to the electronic medical records. Or she wants to talk about the GDPR and how it relates to data protection for medical patients in the UK, or talk about the HIPAA the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act for those in the US and how it relates to data privacy and so on for patients, medical patients in the US. And in Canada, you have FIPA. Okay, in the US, you have HIPAA. In the UK, you have the GDPR. That's the Global Data Protection Regulation. Global Data Protection. Is that a general or global? I can't remember right now. Global or General Data Protection Regulation. FIPA is the portability, the Personal Health Information and Protection Act. HIPAA is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. And these are privacy laws. HIPAA is the US, FIPA is Canada, and GDPR is the UK. You want to be able to speak about these things. You want to talk about the analysis where you did analysis within the hospital for the length of stay, the readmission rates, mortality rates, bed occupancy rates, and so on and so forth. This screams experience. This screams knowledge, things that you've done before. And that's how you start to prove to employers that you're the best candidate for the job. So when you've identified the right career path, number two, you've learned the right way by learning in a project-based environment and building evidence by building a portfolio, showing that you've done this job before. You must also gain work experience. And work experience is so important that all the candidates I shared with you at the beginning, those were the references of those candidates. The NHS reaching out to us directly to say, you've worked with these candidates before, provide a reference on their behalf for us to to conclude and finalize their offer. Tell us about their strengths and weaknesses. Tell us how well they can work. Tell us if they can use this tool and these technologies and so on and so on. Are they punctual? How many times have they missed work and so on and so forth? So it's extremely important that you must have experience. So when you join Tenalytics, you don't join us as a student. You don't join us as a trainee. No. You join us as a contractor or a consultant. And what this means is you can go back and make a request for a reference. So when you get a job and they ask you, oh, as a healthcare data analyst, where did you use Excel? Where did you use Tableau, Power BI, and so on? You can say, I worked at Amdari, I worked at Tenalytics, and that was where I utilized these tools and these technologies and so on. And I'll show you how that plays out practically again as well. So your experience is extremely important, and you gain experience in two major ways. I've shown you the first way, which is projects you work on and complete in class through your project-based learning. And number two is your internship. So when you join Tenalytics to gain the skills, work on projects in class with professionals and experts, at the end of that, you move into Amdari. Amdari is the sister company to Tenalytics, and Amdari helps you gain work experience. So for 2 months, you'd be on an internship, and your internship as a healthcare data analyst, as a business analyst, as a cybersecurity professional, as a data engineer, you don't work in silos, you work in groups. Solve a common problem, because that's the same way you'd work in the real world. So you gain skills beyond your technical skills. You'd gain team collaborating skills, communication skills. You'd know how to manage deadlines and timelines and so on and so forth. Okay, so for 2 months, you'd work collaboratively on projects, solve a common project, a common goal. You'd have a team lead. Your team lead will be responsible for the work that you do. They look at what you've done. They give you a feedback. You go back to rework and until you have a perfect solution. Okay, so you have stand-up meetings just the same way you do in the real world of work. Amdari operates out of Alberta in Canada and out of London in the UK. So you can list Amdari as your work experience. Why? Because you've interned with Amdari, you've worked with Amdari, and that gives you the latitude to get a reference from either Tenalytics or also Amdari. So you must have reputable organizations that can vouch for you for the skills that you have and also show employers that you have experience. And when you do that, remember, like I said, you must always build a portfolio, evidence that you've done that job. And I'll show you what this looks like practically very quickly. So let's go to LinkedIn and I'll show you how professionals that have gotten jobs, how they utilize this in order to um, showcase that they have experience within that space and how you can also do the same. So let me think of someone. Let's see. God. God joined our data engineering program. God also works with the NHS, by the way, also on full visa sponsorship. If you go to God's profile, one of the first things you would see is what? He worked with us as a data engineer, an Azure data engineer. And that was what helped him to land this job last year, 2025, January 2025, as a data engineer with the NHS. The role itself, the job title says data warehouse and ETL developer. That's a fancy way of saying a data engineer. Now, what does this mean? It means that God could come back to get a reference from us. Okay, you have somebody like Ramat. Ramat, currently a business architect, also with the NHS. Rama joined our business analysis program. Before she got the job with the NHS, Ramat worked as a customer resolution agent for British Gas. But when you look at Ramat's profile, she worked with us as a business analyst consultant. So this positions you as somebody who has done the job, somebody with experience. You're not competing with trainees, with recent graduates. No, you're competing with as somebody who has experience doing that job. And that's how you present yourself. Your supporting statements when doing your application to the NHS would also carry that. And that was what helped Ramat land this job as a business architect with the NHS. And there are so many other people, so many others. There's Pavel in the US. Pavel used to be a I beg your pardon, used to be a teacher, but today he works in the healthcare sector as a healthcare data reporting analyst with the Arizona Community Physicians. Prior to that, what did he do? He worked with Tenalytics as a data analyst on contracts and as a data analyst on internship. So this positions you as somebody with experience. And this is just showing you practically what it means. Okay. So one of the things you want to take note of is having the skill is not enough to get the job. You must show employers that you've done the job before and you have experience doing the job by building a portfolio and also having evidence that you've done the job. Extremely important. Now, that takes us to number 4. So, number 1, remember, you've identified the career path. I said I'm going to show you 6 things. I've shown you 3 so far. We have 3 to go. Number 1, you identify the right career path. Number 2, you learn the right way by doing what? Learning in a project-based environment and building a portfolio as evidence that you've done that job before. Number 3, you must gain work experience. And I've just shown you how to do that. All the way you learn in a project-based environment, those projects become part of your experience and your internship also becomes part of your experience. Number 4 is identify the employers that would sponsor you. Okay, so I'm going to walk through this very quickly because one of the reasons why we are here today is because we want to know how to identify employers that have the license to sponsor. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 ways to go about this. And the ways we have helped, part of the strategies I'll show you today are the strategies that helped all the people at the beginning, that helped Olufumilayo land her job with the NHS. That helped Zulay land her sponsorship job with the NHS. Mary, Ahmed as a health informatics support worker, and so on and so forth. All the 237 alumni we have working with the NHS, these are part of the strategies they deployed to get into the organization and secure their sponsorship. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 things, 3 ways you can go about this. Number one is through exclusive job boards. And exclusive job board simply means these are job boards that are not open to everyone. Okay, so you have job boards that list only visa sponsored jobs. And we have these job boards at Tenalytics. So what we do at Tenalytics is we subscribe to multiple job boards that are paid. They offer these exclusive jobs that come with sponsorship. And we scrape the web for these jobs and we send them to you to apply. So we vet the jobs to know that these are the type of jobs you can do. And I'll show you what that looks like very quickly. Okay, so let's take Tenalytics, for example. You've registered, just like Victoria, maybe you are in the health tech program. When you go to your classroom, one of the things you would see in your classroom is job offers. So if I go to job offers, I can click on the link right there and it takes me to the jobs that have been posted. So every Sundays, we post jobs for you to apply to, and you'd see the jobs that come with sponsorship. True, 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 true. These are visa sponsored jobs. Last Sunday, you'd have jobs that we post. Okay, visa sponsored jobs, you see them there. True, 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 and so on. The Sunday before. So you'd see all these jobs. We script them and we send them to you. It's an exclusive job board. And the advantage of this is you're applying to jobs where your counterparts don't have access to these job boards. So you get your interviews a lot faster. You also have the Amdari job board. Amdari is where you go to do your internship. So you have your job board at Amdari that looks like this. So one of the first things you do is you change the drop down right here to visa sponsor jobs, and you'd see different jobs. You can search for the job title, the city or the state where you are, and you can see jobs within that area. We get these jobs and we make them available to you. JP Morgan as a business analyst, senior product analyst, business analyst, data analyst, project engineer, cyber risk assessment engineer, and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's the Amdari job board. Nobody has access to this job board for free, but you gain access to it because you are a part of both the Tenalytics and the Amdari ecosystem. So when you're searching for these jobs, the exclusive job boards are extremely important. And of course, you have UK visa jobs. This is open to the public, but it's also paid. You have to pay for it. So what we do is we pay for it, and I'll show you what it looks like. UK visa, sorry, UK visa jobs. Okay, so you'd have to pay for it, like I mentioned earlier. So what we do is we pay to these jobs, these job boards, we scrape the jobs, we vet them, and then we send them to you. So these are jobs that come with verified student, graduate, and experienced hire jobs with visa sponsorship. Okay, so if I go to jobs, I can simply just search for a job. I want to search for a project manager job, for example. So I come here, project manager, hit enter, and I can see project management roles, about 337 jobs with sponsorship. So what we do is we scrape these jobs, we go to the different jobs, transformation, project manager with Robert Gordon University, click on that. I think RGU is in Scotland or so. So you see the salary and all of that. Yes, is in Aberdeen. So get to this job, we get the link and we post them in your classroom so you can apply to these jobs. To get access to this, you have to pay, but we pay for it as an organization and we make the jobs available to you. So these are exclusive job boards, jobs that come with sponsorship exclusively, and you start to apply to these roles. That's one way you can go about this. Okay, so you can use the Tenalytics job board. We post these jobs every Sundays, the Amdari job boards as well. And then we also make the jobs available from platforms like UK Visa Jobs, Visa Job HQ. So you don't have to pay anything extra. Then the second part is you have the general job boards. Okay, so NHS jobs, there's so many of them. I just highlighted a few. Okay, I highlighted a few. And don't forget, if you want to gain access to all of this, just fill the attendance and I'll be sharing them with you. Okay, NHS is one of our favorite platforms for sponsorship at Tenalytics. We have 237 people working there, our alumni. And the reason is because the NHS hires the largest number of people in the UK public sector. And it is one of the largest employers in the entire country. They hire about 1.3 to 1.5 million people across the UK. Okay. So we love, pitching our tents with the NHS because we know that the chances of you landing a high paying job are maybe not, absolutely fantastic when you compare to the private sector, but the remuneration is still great. And you also have access to sponsorship. Okay. So the NHS is one of the general or publicly available platform that we also advise. So if I go to the NHS website, for example, jobs.nhs.uk, again, the links are all there on the slide. Fill the attendance so that you don't miss out. And I want to apply to, let's say, a data analyst. Okay, data analyst, and I click on search. There are about 2,723 jobs that are data analytics related. And I can start to look at these jobs. Okay. Data analyst, senior data analyst, patient safety data analyst. And these are the type of jobs you apply to. All the success stories I've shown you so far, this is how they apply to those jobs. Data and insights analyst. And a lot of these jobs come with sponsorship. This is EPR specialist, data migration, business solutions analyst, data intelligence. Very similar to this particular role. This is an ERP, business intelligence and reporting analyst. But this role currently available with the NHS is a business solutions analyst, data intelligence. Okay, so you apply to these jobs. Salary is very decent salary of between 49,000 to 56,000 pounds. And usually it's what determines what you get is how well you're able to convince them that you can do the job based on the experience you have and so on and so forth. And we prepare you for all of this. We prepare you for the interviews, and I'll speak about that, when we get there. So this is how you start to check for organizations that have the license to sponsor. Remote Rocket Ship is also one of them. Hanam is also one of them. Okay. So for Remote Rocket Ship, for example, I'll just show you what it looks like very quickly. If you click on that, it takes you to Remote Rocket Ship. I want to see jobs only in the UK. I also want to see all the filters, and I want to see jobs that come with visa sponsorship, the skilled worker visa in the UK only. Okay, so currently there are about 2,784 jobs. I can filter for more experience, employment type, degree required, and so on and so on. Okay, or I can simply come here and I can search. I want to search for a project manager role, business analyst role. So let's even say project manager role. Okay. project manager, and let's click that and see. So there are about 21 project management roles at the moment. And I can start to look at the ones I think I can. Oh, this looks like a role interesting, an interesting role, a clinical implementation project manager. It's in the healthcare insurance, space. And this means that if I join the health tech program, that's the healthcare project management program, I can apply to this role. It was posted about 2 days ago. Let's click on apply. You'd see the organization currently hiring, and you can start to put in your application. Okay. So clinical implementation project manager. It's a remote role. And yes, you have to be in the UK, but you work remotely. All right. And you can start to put in your application to this particular position. And this is the second strategy you can deploy. So you have the exclusive job boards. Then you have the general job boards. And the most interesting one is we call it Stoop to Conquer. And Stoop to Conquer is simply a strategy we always advise. Now, a lot of people would think, and the lady I said I spoke with, that lady that has only 1 month to leave the UK except she gets visa sponsorship, this was what she was doing only. She was only applying to jobs that came with sponsorship. Jobs where it indicated that this job has visa sponsorship. And that was mistake number one. And I told her that if I had met you, months ago, I would have advised you not to go with just one route. Okay. So she was only applying to visa sponsor job. Today, she has only 1 month left and she has to leave the UK. Stoop to Conquer is a strategy that is absolutely phenomenal. And how does it work? It simply works by I'm not just going to apply to jobs that clearly indicate sponsorship, but I'll apply to employers that have the license to sponsor me. So I want to look for an employer that has issued a lot of COSs. And because they've issued a lot of COSs, the chance that they would issue my own COS is also high. So let's look at it this way. Okay. So let's say you have 3 employers, A, B, and C. Employer A, last year, 2025, issued 10 COS. Employer B issued 6 COS. And employer C issued 1,250 COSs. Out of these 3 employers, which one of them do you think would easily issue you a COS, A, B, or C? Just type into the chat A, B, or C. Sam says C. Aye Batari says C. Rachel C. Elvis, Mohammed. Fantastic. So these are the employers we want to look for. We want to look for these employers that have the license to sponsor, and they have also issued a lot of COSs. So it means that the chances that they would give me my own COS is also very high. So I'm not just going to apply to jobs that indicates that the job comes with visa sponsorship. I'd apply to that company because I know the company has the potential to sponsor. And when I get into the company, I'm going to give them 210% of my effort. Sorry, I'm just going to go back to sharing my slide. I'd give them 210 of my effort and show them that I'm that right candidate for the sponsorship. Okay. So how do I find these employers? One way you can do that is you can get the license sponsor list from the gov.uk website. Is there available publicly for everyone? The most recent was updated. Interestingly, it was updated yesterday, the 10th of April. Okay, so what you can do, and of course, I've kept the link there for you as well. Okay, so if you click on this link, it takes you to the gov.uk website. You click on this link and it downloads the list, the register of all the organizations that have sponsorship license, which means they can sponsor. But what do you do with this? Let me open it and show you what it looks like. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So you have this spreadsheet with thousands of organizations showing the town and the city and the type of license they have and so on and so on. So what do you do with it? You can start to look for your own specific city, Liverpool, Oxford, London, Nottingham, and so on. Okay. Or better still, I'm going to show you a prompt that I always share with people trying to use this particular spreadsheet. So you can use a prompt on ChatGPT. Okay. And I'll show you how to use that. You'd use the prompt to select the top companies that would easily give you sponsorship based on your location and the career path you want to move into. All right. So I'll try to do this in 2 minutes so I can show you the other strategy. So this is one. You go to the gov.uk website, you download this spreadsheet, and let's open ChatGPT very quickly. Okay. So what will I do? My ChatGPT is opened. So first of all, I'm going to upload that file that I downloaded. Okay, so let's close it first so I can upload. So I'm going to close this. I'll upload it. Add photos or files. That's it right there in my downloads folder. Okay, so I'm going to upload it on to ChatGPT. It's public. Okay, did not allow. Let me try one more time. Okay, so now it has uploaded. I don't know what happened the first time. So now I'm going to copy a prompt. And again, remember, I'm going to share this prompt as part of the materials I'll be sharing at the end of the session. So if you want to get it, I'll say it for the opt-in time. Make sure you fill the attendance so you don't miss out on this if you haven't filled the attendance already. So that's the prompt right there. Okay, so I'll read it before I copy and paste on ChatGPT. So it says, you are a UK immigration job strategist and data analyst. I have uploaded a CSV containing the UK Register of Worker and Temporary Worker license sponsors. Your task is to analyze the data set, identify the best companies I should apply to for visa sponsorship. My profile, you enter your location, the location you want to search for these jobs. I just entered random locations: London, Manchester, Leeds. Career track, what career path are you looking at? Oh, data and analyst, business analyst, HR analyst, financial analyst, healthcare data analyst, cybersecurity professional, SOC analyst, GRC, whatever career path, you enter that right here. Then you give your instructions. Filter companies located in or near my preferred city, prioritize A-rated sponsors only, and so on and so on. Okay. Be strategic. Do not just list companies. Prioritize high probability sponsorship targets. So I'm going to copy this, select everything and copy, and then I go back to ChatGPT. I've uploaded the spreadsheet and I paste my prompts. So you can come to your prompt and change anything you want to change. You can change data analyst to project manager. You can change it to product designer, DevOps engineer. You can change the location to any location you want. Glasgow, Edinburgh, change it to whatever you want, and it gives you the results. Okay, so I'm going to send the prompt, and let's see what it gives us. Sometimes it takes a while. ChatGPT will do all its thinking. So let's let ChatGPT cook. Okay, so while it's cooking, let's try the second strategy. I'm going to come back and show you what the results would look like. Okay, but while that is going on, let's go to the second strategy so we don't waste too much time. So the second strategy is where you are looking for that company C that issued 1,250 COSs last year. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to click on this link and it's going to take me to this website where I can see different companies in the UK and the sponsorship, the number of COSs that they've issued. Tata Consulting Services, 6,928. Okay. Concordia, 3,753. Cognizant, 1,948, and so on and so forth. Oh, I love Cognizant because Cognizant is one of the, organizations that hires a lot. It's a data consulting company. They hire a lot of talent, especially within the tech ecosystem. We have a lot of alumni working in Cognizant as well. So they've issued a lot of COSs. Now I want to target this company. So what do? I go to Google and I'm going to type Cognizant UK careers. Cognizant UK careers. I want to go to their career page and see the roles they have available. So I go to their career page and I want to see the roles they have available. So I'd come here, type in my location, United Kingdom. Okay. You can search for jobs, filter for industries and so on. So, but I just changed it to United Kingdom and let's see the roles they have available. So I can start to see some of the roles I might be interested in. Data analyst, retail. These in Leeds, okay, West Yorkshire. Solutions architect, data engineer. These in London. Senior data engineer. Let's go to page 2. Senior business analyst, energies and utilities, business analyst, insurance, program manager, business analyst. So I can see the roles they have available. And what do? I apply to one of these roles. Yes, it doesn't necessarily state that I must have, it comes with visa sponsorship. It doesn't state that. However, I know that because Cognizant issued 1,000 plus, they've issued 1,948 COSs. The chances that I can get into this company, I stoop to conquer. I stoop, get in, show them I'm the best candidate for this job. I can convince them to give me that job because I become indispensable and I make my request for sponsorship. This is an amazing strategy that so many people have utilized and they've been able to get into the companies and they've been able to get sponsorship. Okay. Let's see. Sometimes ChatGPT might take, very long because it's going to think and think, especially if you are using one of the most recent models. So I'm just going to click on answer now. Okay. So let's get our results immediately. And I want you to see what it would look like. Okay. So let's wait and let's see what the results would look like. Now, so we can see different tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, Manchester top targets, and so on. And so let's see the tier 1 based on the prompts I've entered. And ChatGPT has given me the high probability sponsorship targets for data analyst roles. Okay. And I can see what? Deloitte. That's number 1. And also giving me the roles I should search for. And remember, because I've studied data analytics does not mean I must only get a job as a data analyst. I can get a job like data reporting analyst, business intelligence analyst, risk analyst, and so on and so forth. That's what ChatGPT is simply telling us here. Okay. So what I'll do is similar to what I did with Cognizant. I go to Deloitte as well, and I'll type Deloitte UK careers. Okay. Deloitte UK careers. And I'm going to click on that. I want to see the roles. You can do this on LinkedIn or you can do it on Google search. Okay. I want to search for professional careers. I don't want the early careers. So here you'd see a lot of internships, apprenticeship, and so on. I want proper professional career tracks. So I do that. And the same way I can simply search. So let's come here. I'm just simply going to search for analyst, just a broad word. So let's see all the roles that have analysts attached to them, and I click on search. So I start to see the roles they have available. Okay. Quality risk, analyst quality risk. This is in Cardiff. AI business analyst, AI data, and so on. Tax analyst. So for somebody who's done financial analytics, you can apply to this job. Okay, you see the technical business analyst role, manager business analyst, client support analyst. So for somebody who's done something around data analytics, business analysis, you can apply to this job, for example. And you'd see the roles you can start to apply to one after the other. Okay, you can search for other keywords to see the jobs available. And this is how you start to identify. When I'm done with Deloitte, what next? I go to Accenture, PwC, the Big Fours. Then I go to other organizations, the NHS trusts, Amazon, Barclays, HSBC, Capgemini, NHS, and I start to see other roles, the BBC, and so on and so forth. And this is how you have to be strategic. You can't do things the way everybody does it and get a different result. You have to do things differently. And this is how we show you how to do things differently. Okay. So I've also kept a list of organizations across different industries and sectors where you can start to target these organizations directly. These are organizations that provide sponsorship across multiple industries. Don't forget, I'm going to share my slide with you, but make sure you fill the attendance. So we have just two more strategies, and these two strategies are pretty straightforward. Okay. If you've learned something new today, you've had an exciting time so far, type in a yes into the chat before we continue with the rest of our session. Just type in a yes. Oyeni says yes. Giwa says yes. A big yes. That's Patrick. Absolutely phenomenal. Okay. So let's continue. All right. So here with the different industries, you'd see different organizations from Jaguar Land Rover to Virgin to University of Manchester to the NHS to Tata Consulting Services to SAP and so on and so forth, Lloyds Banking Group, NatWest, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, number 5, don't forget that you would always require a reference. And I spoke about that. So that's strategy number 5. You could have built everything from 1 to 4. But if you don't have reputable organizations that can provide a reference, you'd lose that job. And I've shown you a lot of, reference requests, but I want to highlight this also from the NHS. And I want you to, pick this out. Just take note of this. Okay. So they've reached out. This was this year in March, the 9th of March. Dear referee, the above named applicant has applied to these trusts and so on. In accordance with NHS employment standards, the applicant cannot formally be offered this position until we have received satisfactory pre-employment checks, including completed employment references. So you could have done everything you need to do. But if there is no reputable organization that can vouch for you to say, hey, you've used these tools with us, you've done this with us, and so on and so forth, you're likely going to lose that job. And I've seen this happen to somebody before, more than one person. They had nobody to provide a reference for them. So you don't want to make that mistake. And that's why for so many people that I've shared today, you'll see in their profile, Tenalytics, you'll see in their profile, Amdari, as a note of where they can get a reference from. Because like I said earlier, you don't join us as a trainee, you don't join us as a learner, you join us as a consultant. Okay, extremely important. So that's number 5 you have to take note of. And that's exactly what Gad, I showed you Gad's profile earlier. Gad was a mechanical engineer back in Nigeria, moved to the UK for his master's. He completed his data engineering training with us. Today, he works with the NHS as a data warehouse and ETL developer on full visa sponsorship. Esther has a background in pharmacy. She worked as a care worker when she moved to the UK for her master's. She was still undergoing the Agile Project Management program when she got a job with the civil service in the UK as a contract project officer. And she got this job in July last year. You have Sharon. Sharon got her job 3 months into the program. She worked as a healthcare assistant. No background, no knowledge. She wanted to move into the tech ecosystem. She moved still within the NHS. She worked as a healthcare assistant with the NHS, but she was able to transition to land a job as a business data analyst. And she also kept her sponsorship. And there are so many other professionals. You have Ikmat. Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom. She had a 2-month employment gap. She had moved to the UK for a master's in public health. She wanted to restart her career. She didn't know what to do. She joined Tenalytics and we prepared her for our interviews. We worked with her. Today, Ikmat works with the NHS as an information analyst and so many other professionals. But one thing that remains very key is if we go to Ikmat's profile, Ikmat, information analyst with the NHS, you'd see data analyst with Tenalytics. That was before she moved to the NHS to get the job as an information analyst. And that shows you the importance of positioning yourself as somebody with experience, as somebody who has a reputable organization to provide referencing. Same with Toyin. Toyin was a pharmacist back in Nigeria. Today, she's a pharmacy data analyst with the NHS in the UK. Ramat was a customer resolution agent when she moved to the UK. Today, she's a business architect. Okay. Now, apart from all the things I've shown you so far, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps that we provided for somebody like Ramat, who was in customer service. Apart from giving her the skills, helping her learn the right way, building a portfolio to showcase that she had experience, and listing Tenalytics as part of our experience, getting a reference from us. What else did we do for Ramat? That's what we call the Tenalytics advantage, where we don't just work on your skills and experience, but we also focus on employability skills and a winning application strategy. And this is called the learn. So once you've selected the career path you want to move into, agile project management, business analysis, data analytics, health tech, either as a healthcare data analyst, healthcare business analyst, or healthcare project manager, what next? We help you package. We package you. And this simply means presenting and positioning you as the best candidate for that job. Okay. So apart from you gaining experience, we're going to revamp your CV for you. So all the candidates I've shared with you so far, we revamped their CVs. We optimized their LinkedIn profile. Show them how to build a portfolio as evidence that you've done the job. We have multiple mentorship sessions. So you join mentorship sessions where you get to interact with me, the co-founder. We bring in other industry experts that come to hold your hand and help you make this transition. We help you prepare for interviews. When you need a reference, we provide a reference for you. And when you get the job and you find a project that is a little bit difficult for you, we work with you to ensure that you have a solid footing and you are able to complete that project. Of course, taking into consideration data privacy and other limitations within the organization. But we work with you to ensure you are never alone in solving that problem. Okay, and I'll show you what some of our mentorship sessions look like. For example, you have an interview. What do? All you have to do is go to your dashboard. So everybody has access to a learning management system. So let's say somebody like Korede or Sharon or um, Joy has registered. You'd see welcome back Korede, welcome back Sharon, welcome back Joy. And what do? You have access to the program you've registered for. So if you've registered for HR analytics or agile project management, all you have to do is come here, click on continue learning, and it takes you into the self-paced part of your program. So you have the self-paced and you have the live class. I'm going to break down the live class, the timing and everything, but your live classes are only on Saturdays. On Saturdays when you have a live class. If you're in the UK, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. If you're in the US, in Canada, it's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, so you can come here to the LMS any day, anytime, anywhere at your own convenience. And you can practice, you can watch your videos, anywhere, any day, anytime. And if you have interviews, what do? You go to your dashboard and you simply go to where you have interview preparation. You click on schedule mock interview. What stage of the interview are you currently on? First stage, second stage, you select that. What's the date for your interview? Oh, my interview is on, let's say, the 15th, on Wednesday. You will have somebody join you a day before to prep you for that interview. You copy and post the link to the job you've applied to. You upload the CV you used to apply to that job, and you book an interview prep session. Somebody will join you on a one-on-one to prep you for that interview. So you don't go into the room not knowing what to say, not knowing what to do. You go in knowing, preempting the questions you are likely going to be asked, and you know exactly how to approach those questions. Okay. And of course, you have where you upload your CV, we revamp your CV, we show you how to tailor your CV for subsequent applications, and so on and so forth. You have your mentorship session every Thursdays in the evenings. The last mentorship session that held this past Thursday was on You Must Get a Job. Okay, so that's the title. And this was held by the co-founder of Tenalytics, Ifemena. The beauty about this is if you miss any session for any reason, you've really not missed anything. All you have to do is go back to your classroom, click on the recording. You can click on the slides. You'd see the slides that Ifemena used. You must get a job, key strategies to landing your tech job fast. And it's a 100% practical session. Okay, you can come back if you missed the session. You can watch the recording. That's Ifemena right there, walking you through everything you need to know practically. How do you tailor your CV? How do you put in your application? How do you use different AI tools and so on to get this done? Okay. We have a partnership with CV Matchly AI. CV Matchly AI is a tool that helps you tailor your CV automatically. Upload your CV. It takes the job you want to apply to. So you're on Indeed, you're on Glassdoor. You open up CV Matchly. It will take the job description. You upload your CV and it tailors the CV for you. If it's an NHS job, it writes the supporting statement for you automatically. So this is Ifemena showing you how to get that done. And on your dashboard, you'd see CV Matchly AI, and you can use this for free. It's part of the package of registering and so on and so forth. And that's the beauty. That's how to prepare you for employability. Prepare you for interviews. We work on your CV, optimize your LinkedIn, ensure that you are presented as the best candidate for that job. And of course, apply. This is where I've shown you how you tap into the paid job boards and the hidden job boards. You know, you have to tailor every CV to your job application. You don't take one CV and apply to 100 jobs. That's what people that don't get jobs do. But that's not what you do. Okay. And when you combine this, you pick a career path. We package you, present you, and position you as the best candidate for the job. You tailor every application. You apply in volume, but not just in volume, but quality volume. You tap into the paid and the hidden job market. That's what gets you the job. That's what numerous candidates have done. Idris got a job with Jaguar Land Rover using these same strategies. He got a job with Jaguar Land Rover in Coventry. He moved to another role as an analytics engineer, and that's the role he's currently on. Chika got a job as a financial analyst. Sonia got a job as a HR analyst after completing our HR analytics program, and so many other candidates. All right. So when it comes to the skills you need to learn, I'm going to walk through that very quickly. And we'll go to number 6, which is what you need to do today. I promised you 6 steps. I've given you 5. Number 1 is get into a high demand career path. Number 2, learn the skills the right way by working in a project-based environment and by also showcasing your work by building a portfolio. Number 3, gain work experience through project-based learning, internship, and you have evidence for doing that. Number 4, identify employers that would sponsor you. You can do this through exclusive job boards. You can do this through general job boards like the NHS, Remote Rocket Ship, and you can also use the strategy called Stoop to Conquer, where you identify those companies that have issued a lot of COSs and you target them. Number 5, you always need a reputable organization to provide a reference. Okay, so we are left with number 6, and number 6 is the final, and I'll tell you what you need to do today to bring all of this together and ensure that 2026 is the year that you make a difference and you start to land that job. Okay, but the reason why I want you to know the skills required is very important because a lot of people get it wrong and they assume that as a data analyst, I don't need to learn this. As a business analyst, I don't need to learn this. So I'm going to show you the tools you need to learn for each career path so that you know exactly what to learn. So if you are going for the business analysis program or the healthcare business analyst program, they are pretty much the same. The difference is the healthcare business analyst would focus on the healthcare sector. So the projects you would work on will be healthcare specific compared to the general business analyst. So as a business analyst, what must you know? You must know Excel, Power BI, and SQL. All right. Just give me 1 second. I want to change the color to something more clearer. Okay. To something clearer. So Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Then you must learn process mapping. This is you using tools like Lucidcharts, Draw.io to map out processes. How does this process start? How does it end? What are the different activities in between? Where are the gaps and inefficiencies within this process? What is the to be process? What is the as is process? And what is the to be process? So you're going to use tools like Lucidchart, Draw.io to map out processes. You would learn project initiation planning, Agile and Scrum for projects, and the software development lifecycle. These 3 are project management skills, even though you are a business analyst. And remember, I told you at the beginning, I was going to show you how Zulay was able to land a project officer role. Remember, I promised that I was going to show you how. Zulay completed business analysis, but she got a job with the NHS as a project support officer. And the reason why she was able to get that job is simply because of what I just showed you. As a business analyst, you will also learn project management specific skills and tools. Number 1 is project initiation and planning, Agile and Scrum for projects, software development lifecycle. And you would learn how to use tools like Confluence to collaborate on projects, Jira to track project deliverables, Trello to track your team members' activities and tasks, and Azure DevOps to help you implement the Agile methodology on projects. Okay, so these are project management specific skills. So what we did for Zulay was you have the skills, as to work in this capacity as a project support officer. put in the application, and we helped her enhance and focus on the project management related skills. And that was how she was able to put in the application, show that she had done, things around project initiation. She knew the agile methodology, the Scrum framework, and she knew the software development lifecycle. That was how she got that job. So as a business analyst, you would take it a little bit further with requirement fundamentals, elicitation, stakeholder analysis and engagement, and generative AI for business analysis using Chat GPT. Your program is for 8 months, 6 months learning, and 2 months internship. So it's not you'll become a business analyst in 4 weeks or 2 weeks. No, you become a business analyst that knows how to do the job on day one. Because from your learning to your internship, you will gain all the skills. You would have worked in that capacity with the projects you would complete, and that positions you as the best candidate for that job. If you're in the UK, we have a class for you, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. UK time. If you're in Europe, in Africa, similar time zones. If you're in the US, in Canada, somewhere in North America, we have a class for you, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. So what this simply means is if I'm in the UK, I can join classes either in the morning or in the evening. So if I'm not available in the morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., I can join the class for those in the US or in Canada, which would roughly be 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. my time. So if you are somebody whose schedule in the morning is busy on a Saturday, then you know that you can join the class for those in the US in the evening. The same facilitator, similar curriculum, and you're home and dry. Every other day, you are on the LMS, the learning management system. Okay, so that's for the business analyst. The agile project manager or the healthcare project management program are pretty much similar. The difference is for the healthcare project management, you'd focus on the healthcare space, the healthcare sector. And as an agile project manager, what do you need to learn? You need to know project management methodologies and structure, the skills and communication in project management, agile and Scrum foundations, the Scrum framework, Scrum artifacts. And that's why the agile project manager can get a job as a Scrum Master, because you also learn the Scrum framework. The Scrum framework is a framework within the Agile methodology. You'd learn Scrum and Agile practices, the end-to-end use of Jira and Confluence in projects, Kanban boards for workflow management. You'd learn the velocity, burn-up chart, burn-down charts. These are the Agile metrics and reporting. You'd learn the real-world application and leadership in agile project management, the Nexus Skilled Scrum, and we also help you prepare for the professional Scrum Master examination. So what you learn as an agile project manager is pretty much the same as a healthcare project manager. The difference is, as a healthcare project manager, your focus is on the healthcare sector. And that's why you can apply to roles like this, the one I showed you earlier, where you can apply to this particular job role. I'm going to show you, just give me 1 second. Let me see. I think I opened that earlier. Yes. Work as an agile project manager, a healthcare project manager, you can apply to this role. It's a clinical implementation project manager role, which means it's a project manager role within the healthcare space, healthcare insurance. Okay, so you have an edge. If your focus is to get a job in healthcare, get a job within, the healthcare space, healthcare insurance, public health, and so on. Then you, as a project manager, then you want to look at healthcare project management. Okay, then you have the data analyst and the healthcare data analyst. Again, similar tools, similar technologies. The only difference is one is focused on healthcare, the other one is general data analyst. And what do you learn? Problem solving, Microsoft Excel, SQL, structured query language, Power BI for your data visualization, business intelligence, Tableau for business intelligence, data visualization. You'd learn data storytelling, ChatGPT for analytics, your generative AI using ChatGPT, and Microsoft Fabric. Again, it's an 8-month learning journey, 6 months learning, 2 months internship. All right. You have classes tailored for those in the UK, Europe, Africa, similar time zone, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. That's when you have your live class. Every other day, you're on the LMS. If you're in the US, Canada, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay. Then you have financial analyst and you have the HR analyst. The financial analyst and the HR analyst are both data analysts. The difference is the financial analyst focuses on what? Financial data. The HR analyst focuses on what? People data. Okay. So they have their own niche area. The financial analyst will be looking at the company's revenue, the company's profits, investment opportunities, financial risk, cutting costs, cost optimization, and so on. While the HR analyst will be looking at hiring and recruitment data, employee satisfaction data, employee engagement data, staff turnover data to help the business take decisions that are data driven. So they are both data analysts, and that's why they both learn from 1 to 4. You learn pretty much the same thing: problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. But as a financial analyst, you now dive deeper into financial specific areas from accounting fundamentals, financial analysis, financial modeling, valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis, and generative AI for financial analytics using ChatGPT. Then for the HR analyst, you learn your data skills, just like the financial analyst, but you focus on what? HR analytics, performance evaluation, HR metrics and life cycle, HR analysis and dashboarding, collaboration and report automation, creating your case and building action, or building your case and creating action, generative AI for the HR analyst using ChatGPT. Duration, 8 months, 6 months learning, 2 months internship. Classes for those in the UK, classes for those in the US. Then you have product design. As a product designer, your focus is simply you are responsible for how digital products look. I always use this example. We are all on Zoom today. Some of you, when I say type into the chat, you go to the chat, you click on it and type. Somebody designed the chat icon. Somebody designed the interface. Somebody designed how Zoom would look, from the color to the feel, the user interface and the user experience. What's the experience like using Zoom? The person that built that ensured that this is where the microphone is, this is where the video icon is, this is where you type into the chat. That person is a product designer. Okay, so product designers are creatives. They design, they make things look good. They ensure that the user understands what to click on, the platform is intuitive, and so on and so forth. Okay, so for people who have done graphic design, UI UX design, you are in the creative arts, you've done interior decoration, you have some creative characteristics to you. It's a career path that is absolutely phenomenal for you to dive into. Okay, so you'd learn user experience foundation and research, usability testing, portfolio and AI for product design, wireframes, visual design, and prototyping using tools like Framer, Figma, Claude for your AI as a product designer, and of course, Notion as well. For the product design program, the timing is a little bit different. So your classes are in the afternoon for UK time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. UK. Okay, unlike the other programs where it's 11 to 2 p.m. And for those in the US, you have a different time zone, different timing based on your time zone. For product design, it's one unified time, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. UK time. And the duration is also for 4 months, unlike the other programs for 8 months. So 3 months learning, 1 month internship. All right. So these are the skills you need to learn. So when somebody comes and says, hey, as a business analyst, you don't need to learn Power BI, Excel, SQL, tell them that's wrong. You need it. Okay. Somebody got a job. He was in the UK. He got a job in an energy company and he had been out of work for 6 months. And when he came to me, all I needed to do was, let me see your CV, send your CV, send your LinkedIn. And when I looked through it, I told him that, hey, what you need to do now immediately is you need to learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL. And we worked with him. We equipped him with those skills. He put in his application. About 3 months down the line, he landed a job with a company called U Energy in the UK. I can't remember his name right now, but the company is U Energy, okay, in the UK, okay, U Energy, YU. He got a job with this company in the UK, U Energy. And what did he need to do? All he needed to do was to simply add Excel, Power BI, and SQL. So it's important for you to know the skills required for you to land that job. Now let's go to number 6 for today. Okay. So in 2026, your breakthrough depends on what you decide to change today, what you decide to change now. I've seen so many people saying, I want to get a job. I've been following you since last year, 2 years ago, but they don't do anything about it. So what you need to do, the sixth strategy for today is get started. Staying where you are today is a decision you've made. Moving forward is also a decision you need to make. And 2026 would reflect where you eventually end up. 2026 would end, December would come, we all move to 2027. Whether you learn or you don't, whether you transition, decide to take the step to transition to a new career path or not, I would rather be in a position where I have upskilled, I've gained experience. I've done the things I've listened to Adeza say today. So I'm in a position where I'm competing for the best jobs available. So our next cohort starts on the 9th of May, 2026. April cohort started today, the 11th. The next cohort starts on the 9th of May, 2026. So you have the opportunity to get into early bird. There's an early bird discount for you to get into, and I have some amazing offers also waiting for you. But just before I go into those offers that I have for you, I want you to listen to one amazing professional. And I want to speak about this professional today. His name is William Patrick. William is a candidate that listened to advice and he took that advice, an advice that I've seen so many people make mistakes. And what's that mistake that people make? You go to a country, you go for your master's. A lot of people in the UK make this mistake. So they go for their master's and you wait until you are done with master's before you start thinking of what you need to get a job. So you realize that I've spent about 9 months or a year on my master's and I'm out of my master's and I realize that, oh, the skills I need to get a job, I still need some level of upskilling. I need to learn this, learn that. So you start another journey again, learning. William did not make that mistake. William moved to Poland and he realized for his master's, he had a scholarship to move to Poland for his master's. But he knew very quickly that if he waited until he was done with his master's, he would struggle to land a job. He was doing a master's in civil engineering construction, and to land a job required that he knew how to speak Polish in the construction space. So what did he do? While he was still undergoing his master's, he registered to one of our programs. And as he was wrapping up his master's, he was landing a job as a strategy analyst with Marsh McLennan in the UK. And I want to share, let me see if I can find William Patrick. Yes, William Achibong Patrick. That's him right there. So again, if you go to his profile, you'd see data analyst, and he got this job last year, just about 7 months ago, October 2025, as a strategy analyst with Marsh McLennan. Again, you see where he made the post where he said, I've officially started my role working with Marsh McLennan as a strategy analyst. And that's me giving him a thumbs up right there. That's the co-founder of 10Analytics giving him a thumbs up as well. And I want you to listen to Patrick. I'm going to click on this link. I want you to listen to him for 2 minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll take questions and answers before we wrap up. And I'll show you how to start today for those of you that want to get started. Okay, so let's listen to Patrick very quickly, and then we'll come back to wrap up our session for the day. Okay, I will need to be sure that you can hear my audio. Yes, you can. So sit back, relax, listen to Patrick's story. Had, civil engineering, construction background, but today he was able to transition, currently works as a strategy analyst after completing his data analytics program with us. So enjoy Patrick's story.
Hi, my name is William Patrick. I first heard about 10Analytics when I was searching for an online program to build my tech skills and transition into a tech role. So a friend of mine recommended 10Analytics for me via LinkedIn, and I decided to give it a try. My experience as 10Analytics was outstanding. The live classes were engaging, the project were hands-on, and the mentorship section gave me the exact guidance I needed at the time. Also, the CV and drop-in section helped me to polish my presentation skills and my interview skills, and everything felt practical and relevant. So after the completion of my program, I landed a role as a strategic analyst in a financial company, and I can tell you that 10Analytics played a huge role for my current job right now. Now, what I'm using in my current job is exactly what I learned in 10Analytics, down from creating dashboard in Power BI and Excel, as well as using SQL, how to present my data, how to generate insight and present those data to stakeholders as well. And I also tell you, if you have the commitment to joining 10Analytics, I did say you should go for it. Don't think much about it. Don't think about the money is so expensive and all that. But I believe me, you get the value for your money. At the end of the day, when you get this tech role, you'll be happy for yourself that, 10Analytics is the real deal. And finally, I want to say a huge thank you to 10Analytics for guiding me all through my learning process, down to me getting a job. So I really appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Cheers, 10Analytics. Bye.
So that's Patrick, a fantastic professional, doing very well for himself. He didn't make the mistake a lot of people make. He did what? He decided to start upskilling even before he was done with his master's. So by the time he was wrapping up with a job already, in his hands. Absolutely phenomenal. So what does it take to start today? Our final strategy for today. Okay. So 9th of May is when we have the new cohort starting. And I have an amazing offer for those that will be starting with us, the early birds. The first 20 people to register would get an advantage of an amazing discount. So for all the programs I've highlighted today, the full amount is £1,250, $50. $1,250. But I have an amazing 20% discount where you get to pay just $1,000. And to make it more interesting, you don't have to make this payment at once. You can break your payments to up to 5 installments. So what that means is it only takes $200 for you to start. So if you want to start the cohort that would begin on the 9th of May, all it takes for you to start your journey to a high paying career, all the things I've shared with you today, is just $200. Okay. So for those interested in starting, the first 20 people to register, I have more for you if you fall within the first 20 people to register. And what's the more? For those that register today and fall within the first 20, apart from getting the discounts and also getting the opportunity to pay in 5 installments, you also join the Founder Circle. So the Founder Circle is where myself, the co-founder, and other experts would have a conversation with you, help you tailor your journey to what you should expect, how you should prepare for this journey you'll be commencing to the next few months, and how you can prepare yourself to ensure that you get the best out of the program and eventually land a job. That's one thing you'd also get. You'd also get access to the weekly mentorship. So even though your program starts in May, you'd have the opportunity to join mentorship this April. Okay, so you start early, you get early access, front of the line access, where you join and see the amazing stuff we discussed during mentorship. You can ask your questions, join our interview simulations, and so on and so forth. Just for the first 20 people. Okay. You also have access to a session that'll be happening this April where we'll be speaking about the Global Talent Visa, the UK Global Talent Visa. It's an alternative pathway for those who are not considering sponsorship but want to apply to get endorsed by the Tech Nation and eventually getting a Global Talent Visa to give you 3 years or 5-year pathway to ILR in the UK. And of course, you also get lifetime career support. And what does lifetime career support mean? It means that even though you've gotten a job and in the next 2-3 years, you are moving to a new role and you still want us to prepare you for that interview, provide a reference for you, we would always provide that for you. Okay, so this is only available to people who are the first 20 to register today. And there's even more. If you're also one of the first 20 to register, you also get access to free updates. We make updates to all the programs we have. There was a time where the programs did not have AI, anything generative AI. But as AI started to become a thing, we integrated AI to all the programs. So once you enroll and we have new updates, you will be a part of the new update. So you can always come back next year whenever you want. You log into your LMS and you have access to the updated content for free, no extra payments from you. All right. You also have the opportunity to jump into the next cohort. So we have cohorts running every single month. The difference is the discounts are specific to this particular cohort. But life happens, and let's say, God forbid, you fall sick, you can't continue with the May cohorts. What do? You have the opportunity to join the next cohort for free, the June cohort or the July cohort, and you don't have to pay any re-enrollment fees for you to join the next cohort. Okay. And finally, by the end of week 12 in your program, you would have gotten a minimum of 3 industry-ready projects live in your portfolio. Remember, I showed you what a portfolio looks like, which is your evidence that you've done that job. Week 12, we guarantee that you'd have a minimum of at least 3 industry-ready projects in your portfolio. But this is not open to everyone. It's open to the first 20 people that would be registering after this session today. Okay. So you have priority access, you have front of the line access, and it's either the first 20 people to register or by Sunday midnight, it closes, whichever comes first. So usually what happens is before the session even runs out, we have the 20 people registered and we cut off the front of the line advantage. So how do you register if you're interested in registering and taking advantage of all these amazing offers and incentive to get started. And all it takes, like I mentioned, is just $200. So what do? If you click on the link, which my colleagues would share in the chat, or you simply click on this link, like I said, I'll share my slides at the end of the session. It's going to take you to the enrollment center, and I'll show you what it looks like and walk you through how to complete your registration. Okay. So it's going to take you to the enrollment center that looks like this. You'd see all the courses you can register for: data analytics, health tech analyst, health tech project management, healthcare business analysis, business analyst, HR analyst. You select the program you're interested in. So let's say I'm interested in data analytics, for example. All I need to do, click on enroll now. Okay. And I click on enroll. And the moment I do this, I'll be required to create an account. Sorry, I'm just going to, because I've created an account with this tab before. That's why, let me use a different browser so that when you are registering, you get exactly the same thing I'll be showing you today. Okay. So you see where you have all the programs. You're interested in data analytics. You click on enroll. You click on enroll now. You'll be required to create an account. Okay. And it's a straightforward process. You enter your name, you enter your email, and you will be creating an account. Okay. So I'll show you what that looks like, and I'll create an account, and you see how you can also do the same. So I'll enter an email, enter my phone number. Okay. I'll enter my phone number. I've read the terms and conditions, and I click on sign up. That's all you need to do to create an account. Very straightforward. Now, once you've done that, you'd see the cohorts available: the May cohort or the June cohort. You can choose any of the two. So what this means is you can take advantage of all the incentives, take advantage of all the offers, but maybe your May is already busy. You want to start in June, you can select June. Or you want to start immediately, priority cohorts. The next cohort starting, you select May, and you can select your payment option. Now you have three options for payments. You can make a one-time payment, and instead of paying $1,250, you get to pay just $850. This is if you're making a one-time payment. So in addition to the 20% discount you already have, you get an additional 12% discount. So a total of 32%. You are saving about $400 by doing this. So instead of $1,250, you pay just $850 if you're making a one-time payment. If you're paying in two installments, you save 28% off the original amount. Instead of paying $1,250, you pay a total of $900 in two installments: $450 this month, $450 next month. So you save $350. Or you can make your payment in as much as 5 installments. Okay, you still save $250. Instead of paying $1,250, you get to pay just $1,000, and you can break your payments into 5 installments. So it is the most flexible option for you, and you still get amazing discounts of up to 20%. And you can change the currency. If you want to pay in pounds, you come here, click on pounds, and you'd see the respective amounts converted to pounds for you. You want to pay in euros, select euros. You want to pay in Canadian dollars, select Canadian dollars, and you can make your payments using your preferred currency. Okay, so let's say I want to pay in pounds. I click on pounds, and I can either make a one-time payment where I save £306, 2 monthly payments where I save £267.5, or I make my payment in 5 installments and I get to save £191. So let's say I choose the flexible option of 5 installments. And then I come right here. This is the total amount I'll pay, but I'll start today by paying only £153. And that's the beauty of the flexible option. So I don't have to pay up front a large chunk of money. I can pay £153. That gets me into the program. And my next payment comes in the following month. Okay. So my next payment comes in on the 11th of May. But for some of you, 11th of May is not when you get salary. Let's assume salary comes in on the 25th. You can also change when the second payment should come in. So what do I do? Change dates, and I select 25th of May is when I want my second payment to come in. And I click on that and click on save. So even though I make my first payment today, 11th of April, second payment comes in on the 25th of May. So I have that flexibility. So I confirm information is correct, read the terms and conditions, and I click on pay now, confirm all my details, and I click on pay now. Okay. So once I go to where I enter my card details, I'm just going to enter my card details. Okay. I just entered this very quickly. Full name, Adeza Suleiman. Enter your postcode and click on pay. Okay. So today I'll be making just £153 to start. My next payment comes in on the 25th of May, and I'm going to pay 5 installments because I've chosen the 5 monthly payments. So I click on pay. And then once my payment is complete, what next? I need to complete my profile and I get access to my dashboard. Okay, so payment successful. You get redirected to confirm your email. So you go to your spam. If you don't see the email in your inbox, please check your spam. Okay, so I'd go to my spam to verify my email, look for an OTP 59468. And I verify my email. Once my email is verified, I'm simply going to complete my profile, location, United Kingdom. Okay. Gender, select your gender, the time you want to join, or I want to join the classes for those. I'm in the UK, so 11 a.m. BST is fine for me. I'll join in the morning, 11 to 2 on Saturdays. That's when I have my live class. How did you hear about Tenalytics? Select your preferred option. Oh, I saw you guys on Google. I heard about you on YouTube, or I saw you on Facebook or LinkedIn. Select your preferred option. You can enter an alternative email. What made you register? Just type it in there. How much time do you want to commit per week? We need this information so that we ensure that you also stay on track. And I always recommend at least 4 to 6 hours per week, preferably 7 to 10 hours per week. Okay. So select that option, click on complete setup, and then this takes you into your dashboard. You'll be required to complete a checklist to onboard you completely. Okay, so if I click on this, I'll see all the things I need to do. And once I click on complete my onboarding, step by step, I start to see who my cohort facilitators are, who's going to teach me, who will be responsible for ensuring that I get to learn and I get to transition. So Amaka Daniels is the data analytics lead because I've registered for data analytics. You can contact any of your, facilitators, your data coaches. If you click on contact, for example, it takes you directly to their emails. You can easily send an email, and you get a response, and so on. So this takes you to Amaka's email, amaka@tenalytics.org, and so on and so forth. So once you are done with this, you select this, you click on next. It takes you to the next step. You complete the checklist and you have access to the dashboard. Okay. Now, when you're done with your checklist, remember you would have an onboarding on the 6th of May, and your program itself, your very first class, starts on Saturday, the 9th of May. Okay, so this is what it takes for you to get started. So I'm going to take questions. I'll take questions. And again, for those that have registered, or for those that will be registering today, so if you've not registered, you are thinking of registering, you want to get started, like for those that have registered, or for those considering registering, You'd also have the opportunity to have a one-on-one session with our career coaches. So you might have questions, you want to ask questions around, what the program you want to get into. You still have a few questions. You want us to look at your background and so on and so forth. You'd have the opportunity to have a one-on-one with our career coaches. So that's one of the advantage of you being a part of this cohort. Okay. So I'm going to take questions before we call it a day today. All right. So if you have questions, please, you can type into the chat. I'll pop in there from time to time to take some of the questions that you have. And okay, so let me see some of the questions. I'll take questions from the chat, like I mentioned. Let me pick one or two questions. Okay, I do not know where to start from. Samsung. Okay, Samsung, Daniela sent you a message. Okay, so send an email or just call Daniela, and Daniela would help you address that. So Linda is asking, hi Adeza, thank you for throwing more light on BA role. Just to be sure, does completing the business analysis course alone typically provide enough knowledge and skills for project officer, project management roles? No. If you want to get a job, Linda, as a project manager, go for the Agile Project Management Program. Okay. It's not enough for you to get a job. You do business analysis and get a job as a project manager or project officer. That's usually not enough. Now, is it possible for you to get a job? Yes, it is, because business analysis, the curriculum, you would learn, some project management skills and tools and technologies. But if your primary goal is to get a job as a project manager, then you want to join the Agile Project Management Program. Okay. If your role or your primary objective is to get a job as a business analyst, and I'll recommend you go for the business analysis program. Okay. So that's the advice I'd give. I don't know if that helps. Do I need to write BCS? No, you don't. Kemsey. So the curriculum is a fusion of the BCS curriculum and also the CBAP. That's the IIBA curriculum as well. So we combine the two to come up with a curriculum for the business analysis. The difference is BCS is highly theoretical. IIBA is highly theoretical. But what you learn here at Analytics is how to do the job, not how to pass an exam. So to land a job, you don't need to write BCS. What I always tell people is this, and it's very simple. And one of the things you start to get when you join Analytics, one of the things we instill in you immediately is a phrase: competence over credentials. Competence over credentials. Competence. So from day one, all the certifications you think you have, or all the certifications you think you need, you wrap them into a box and you put them somewhere. They mean absolutely nothing. Like I mentioned earlier, employers don't care. Anybody can pass a BCS, anybody can pass a CBAP, have a CBAP, as their title, or in front of their names. Employers want you for your competence, your skills, and your experience. That's the focus for you. Okay. And I'll tell you that from my own experience. Okay. I have a master's. A lot of people have masters. A lot of people have certificates. Let me show you somebody. Since you talked about BCS, her name is Hope. Hope had a CBAP. She had CBAP. She had CSM, which is a Scrum Master certification. She had PMP, but she could not get a job. She could not even get interviews as a project manager. She wanted to get a job as a project manager. So just the same way you're asking this question, everybody kept on telling her, Hope, Do PMP. She did PMP, nothing. Hope, do CBAP, nothing. CSM, nothing. She came to us in September 2024. And what did we do? We told her to scrap all of this. This is irrelevant to you landing a job. Hope is in Canada, by the way. And today, Hope is a project analyst with Visman in Waterloo, Ontario. And she got this job in December. She joined us in September. She got a job in December, just about 3 months after joining us. And what we did for Hope was we projected her skills and experience upfront, made sure she built a portfolio with projects that showed that she could do the job of a project manager. We prepped her for interviews where rather than focusing on her certificate, she focused more on doing the job, what she had done, and the experience that she had. And that was all she needed to land the job. Today, Hope is a project analyst with Visman in Waterloo, Ontario. So she had all the certifications and it did not help her to land a single job, Kemsey. Okay. So competence over credentials. Always have that at the back of your mind. So Sam is asking, what if the said company offering COS hits the limit of their COS offers and they are not able to give you? So that's the thing. You're never sure. And that's why you cannot depend on only one strategy. You need a broad level strategy. Okay. Multiple strategies. And that's what gets you the desired outcome at the end of the day. Okay. So for somebody who is going for only one, you get that job and eventually you are not able to get the COS, time is already gone, you've wasted time, then that's on you. So what you want to do is have multitudes of strategy. You are applying to jobs with companies that have the license, to companies, to roles that come with sponsorship. So when you get a job, it doesn't mean that you get that job and you sit down when you don't have sponsorship. No, you keep on searching until you get that opportunity, either with the company that you got the job in or a company that is willing to sponsor you. And those are the things we do during our mentorship sessions, tailored towards navigating the job market. My question is, are there age limits or location limits? And the answer is a big no. Okay, I want to show you somebody who at the age of 60 in the UK got a job with the Home Office as a business and he transitioned. He joined our business analysis program. I'm going to show you. His name is Mr. Oladipo at the age of 60. And I want you to listen to him. All right. So limitations usually exist because you put those limitations on yourself. So what you want to do, if you go on YouTube, search for Tenalytics on YouTube. Okay, go on YouTube, search for Tenalytics. Search for Tenalytics on YouTube. Click on the logo. It takes you to the Tenalytics page. You can see so many videos of so many, sessions we've held over the last 4 to 5 years. If you go to the alumni job success stories, you click on that, and it's going to take you to tons and tons of professionals like yourself that have done exactly what you're trying to do. Okay, they've done it, they've walked in your shoes, and they've gotten jobs. And this is Mr. Oladipo. I'm going to play this video. I want you to listen to him. How I transitioned into business analysis after 60. Okay, I want you to listen to him and what he had to say. Okay, I think we have about 6 slots are gone already. Okay, 6 slots are gone for the first 20 people to register. So again, you want to make sure you don't miss out on the discounts and also all the offers. Let me take Osamuyi. Before I play the video, I'll take Osamuyi's question. I previously learned data analytics and I'm very interested to go forward, but I'm on a skilled worker visa sponsorship right now. I'm willing to transit my question. I'm willing to transit. My question is, can I get sponsorship on this role as a data analyst? I'm not sure I entirely understand your question, Osamuyi, but if I take the last sentence, can I get sponsorship on this role as a data analyst? Absolutely. That's what we've been saying since for the past 2.5 hours. Osamui, all the testimonials I started with at the beginning, about 3 out of 5 did data analytics. Data analytics is one of the most popular career path that gets you sponsorship in the UK. And one mistake people make is assuming that your job title must be data analyst before you get a job, that the only job you can get must be as a data analyst. And I want to share, let me share somebody with you, for example. I've shown you Hope, and just beside Hope, you have Oluwadamilare. Oluwadamilare works with a company in Leeds. He completed our data analytics program, but today he works as a sustainability data analyst on sponsorship. Okay, his role did not specifically say data analyst, it says sustainability data analyst. And just like Ikmat, I showed you Ikmat the other time. Ikmat did data analytics. She works with the NHS, but her role is what? Information analyst with the NHS. And she completed data analytics. So you have these career paths, which is the umbrella for multiple roles within the space. So as a data analyst, I can get a job as an information analyst, business intelligence analyst, sales analyst, and so many other roles. And they all qualify for visa sponsorship. Okay. Let me take more questions. Another person just made payments. So we have 7, which means we have 13 slots left. Kemsey, thank you very much. You're welcome, Kemsey. I'm in dental for 30 years, not tech savvy, but would like a remote role. Can you help? Absolutely. Ikmat works fully remote, even though she works with the NHS. Her role is fully remote. Ikmat is also going to be one of the mentors, especially for those joining the healthcare data analytics program, healthcare business analysis, and healthcare project management. So if you're in healthcare, you want to transition into the healthcare space, Ikmat is going to be one of your coaches. Coaches in the sense that when it comes to job application, the things you need to take note of in writing your supporting statement, how to put in your application, how to apply to jobs within the civil service and also within the NHS. She's done it. She's been there. She's done that. She's also going to be one of the people, the coaches working with us. So an alumnus coming back to mentor and coach you to also make that transition. Ramat is also going to be a coach for those within the health tech space. Ramat did business analysis, but she didn't get a job as a business analyst. She got a job as a business architect. As a business analyst, you can work as a change management analyst, business architect, process analyst, product reliability engineer. There are so many roles and career paths within the ecosystem of business analysis. And these are the things we show you when it comes to putting in the job application and ensuring you're able to land that job. Okay. So let me play the video of Mr. Oladipo very quickly. At the age of 60, able to make that transition. You're welcome, Sam. I'm not sure I have more questions or questions I haven't answered. So let's go to Mr. Oladipo. I want you to listen to him. For the person who asked, is age a limitation? And the answer is always no. Okay, so let's listen and enjoy Mr. Oladipo.
Disqualified.
It's about 5 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll speed it up a bit. All right, I'll speed it up a bit so that we actually don't take 5 minutes. But I want you to listen and enjoy Mr. Oladipo, 60-year-old. And the question after listening to this is, if he can do it, then what is stopping you? If a 60-year-old man can transition, What's stopping you from transitioning? So sit back, relax, and enjoy Mr. Oladipo's story.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on whatever time you come across this video. My name is Oladipo. I am an over 60-year-old man with over 20 years UK civil service experience. I am nearing my retirement and I was looking for a way to go into tech to secure a better future for myself, and at the same time to looking for a position that will give me time to spend with my family and not to worry too much about income. So I was looking for a position where I can do some work at home or hybrid or less stress, because my work before includes working in the prison service and then into the home office. Now, going into tech, I was looking a way of going to tech, and I was doing a lot of self-study with YouTube video and other courses that I've joined in there, and I wasn't getting much anywhere until I came across Tenalytics. Tenalytics, I joined the BA program in May 2025. Now, I have to be completely honest in here. The teaching wasn't that much different from what you get from other teachings, people who are doing similar things, because to be quite honest, they are all copying Tenalytics and the teaching is similar, the tools is similar. The onus is on you to do everything that you've been told to do. But where I have to give Tenalytics their flowers, where I dove my hat off to them, is in the mentorship and coaching session. It is top notch. I have to say special thank you to Efemina and Adeza, because they take your journey personally. It is personal to them. They want to ensure that you succeed. So right from the fourth week, I started applying for jobs. And that time we've only done Excel, Power BI, and SQL. In fact, we've not even started SQL fully. But in the mentorship section, they keep telling me, just apply. When you see the job, you see the essential, all the criteria they put in there. I was told that it's all a shopping list. Don't discourage yourself. Don't disqualify yourself before the recruiter disqualify you. Because if you say, oh, I don't have everything, and then you don't apply, you're only knocking yourself out. So they drill that into me. And in the mentorship and coaching section, they are bringing people from the industry, people who are working in there, and they are giving us tips. And I mean, the optimization of the CV, linking and everything, that is powerful. It's top notch. But I also have to give special flowers, special thank you to the person who prepped me for my interview, in the person of Joshua Akinola, who is the head of the BA program. Thank you so much. He believed in me much more than I believe in myself. And he's telling.
Okay, so I'm going to stop because of time, but that's a 60-year-old who got prepped for interviews, who did all the things I've shared with you today so far, and he was able to make his own transition. He used to work with the civil service. He moved from the civil service to the home office, and this was in preparation for his retirement. Okay, so just to answer the question, the person that asked the other time, what does it take for me to land a job? Is age a limitation? And I'll tell you for free that age is never a limitation. Okay. Now, to Linda, let me explain how the lady was able to land the job and why I said if your primary objective is to get a job in project management, then go for project management. Don't do what she did, which is do business analysis with the hope of getting a project management role. So let me explain. Now, Linda, you want to get a job as a project manager, okay? This is project manager. This is business analysis. As a project manager, and let me make this as simple as possible. Let's say you need A, B, C, D, E. Okay? A, B, C, D, E. You need these 5 skills to become a fully fledged project manager. All right. But as a BA, you are going to learn maybe B and C. So you're going to miss out on A. The E has disappeared. So you're going to miss out on A. You'd miss out on D and E. Now, for some organizations, you might find organizations that require somebody who knows, let's say B is agile, somebody who knows the agile methodology, okay, the agile methodology, and somebody who knows how to use, let's say, Jira and Trello. You have organizations like that. And in those organizations, they don't want somebody who has all the skills. They want somebody who knows Agile and somebody who can use Jira and Trello. For that type of role, as a business analyst, you would have learned how to use Agile. You'd have learned how to use Jira and Trello. So you can apply to that job, even though it's a project management role. But majority of the project management roles you'd find would not just require Agile and Trello. They'd require a whole lot more.